Hello everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch Oasis League. We are wrapping up week 1 here of the beginning of season 5 tier 3, and man, this is a great game we've got to close out the week. White Walkers versus Stardust Crusaders, defending champion versus a potential super team. I am joined by the caster Wukong and my color commentator Crypto.
Good evening everybody.
Hello. Toy bot broke.
Yeah, so Stardust Crusaders is technically a new team, but is kind of a combination of two former teams, Nova and Corey-Core, who are kind of looking to combine forces and really set this league on fire.
Indeed. But this is actually a very interesting matchup, because both of these teams we're looking at are kind of off-role experiments. A lot of the players from both teams that I'll say were core on their roles are no longer eligible to play in this tier. So we have, former tank players playing DPS. We've got DPS players playing support. We've kind of got the whole gamut. We've got support players playing tank. Really everybody all over the place. And so I expect this match to be pretty interesting in that regard.
Yeah, and this does not affect anyone more than White Walkers right now, who lose one of their key members. Bleem cannot play tank anymore, is going to switch over to that DPS. But that's not it. They also lost Musketeer support, Red Hood Kitty support. They lost Cloud Lemon in free agency. There are a lot of pieces that this White Walkers team that won the championship last year will not have back this season, but I still put them at number 1 in the power rankings for a reason, because they still have so many great players. PogChamp's returning, Richard and Charles returning. Still a lot of great players here.
Indeed, this will be a very interesting matchup, and we see different spins on the same kind of brawl comp come out from both sides.
Yeah, interesting to see the contrast between the Widow and the Sombra from these teams. Bleem, the one on the Sombra here. Both of these teams already brawling on point, and Charles is actually the first one to go down. Playing a new character that they didn't really play before as much, Zarya. And the fight is going back and forth. Both teams at about a 4v4 right now. But now Wakocha trying to find the shots to turn the fight. It might not be enough. We do see White Walkers taking the first capture at this point. Ravi is hacked, has to get away, is going after Ziptail, who is able to get behind the shield, and it does look like overall White Walkers will win this first team fight.
Absolutely. If Wakocha isn't finding entry picks, or, maybe the mid-fight opportunity, SDC is really going to struggle in the mid-fight. There's just so much more value coming out from the top.
Good shatter by Richard, but he does get taken down by Magdragon. Teamfight actually still up for grabs. There's Wakocha getting a nice pick onto PogChamp. But we are going to see Stardust. They're still trying to play this patiently, but now they're going to hit the go button after taking out Reflex as well. Now Wakocha really starting to come online on this Widowmaker. This is looking like all but a one fight. And that will be it. White Walkers are going to concede the point, and Stardust Crusaders are going to get on the board.
Yeah, that was a really excellent retake, honestly. I'm curious to see how they pressure this advantage now, with Wakocha up on that enemy high ground, finding Reflex.
Reflex is not having a particularly good time right now, being sent immediately back to spawn on 2 consecutive team fights, but we do see White Walkers. They have several ults to their names, including that EMP, which could immediately win them the fight. On the flip side, however, that Death Blossom, especially if they combo it with the Graviton Surge or the Earth Shatter, which are very close as well, could be deadly.
Indeed, and we actually see Richard swapping over to the Winston, probably to help deal with the coach.
And here comes the EMP from Bleem, but I don't know if the follow-up is going to be there. PogChamp in the back line, able to get one with the Death Blossom, but Gravities is much better. The whole team was split, and that was easy pickings for Stardust Crusaders. And shout out to Token Panda's really good immortality field there.
Yeah, that was actually quite the strong fight. Stardust Crusaders only using the single Death Blossom, while the Death Blossom and EMP came out on the other side. And PogChamp falling early to Uravity.
Yeah, he swaps to the Widowmaker to try and contest Kocha, who uses the sights here, but yeah, Uravity doing a great job at diving on him. We see here, we're entering one fight territory, and there's the nano boost onto Richard, trying to build up that final rage, and there's PogChamp getting the pick onto Wakocha. Both of the support ults are being used on the side of White Walkers. You see both sound barriers come out for both of these teams. And Stifftail, what's going on here? Reddit Lucio. And it looks like White Walkers are going to stay alive here on City Center of Busan.
So this is Stifftail's debut on Lucio. It's a joke.
So we see coming back, the old economy is pretty solidly in Stardust Crusaders' favor, but oh shoot, well, Wakocha already entering the entry pick.
That is not going to help this team fight. Now Wakocha just has all the free sightlines in the world. There's the amplification matrix. This isn't looking too good, but not a lot of follow-up on Eldritch's Graviton Surge, but in the long fight, they are going to be able to prevail here. Only Charles and Ziptail on the point here, and that will be Stardust Crusaders taking City Center here. PogChamp just gonna kind of try and stagger themselves. Richard the Hard gets booped. Actually still alive. They're gonna see Gleam come back with a possible duplicate, not able to use it, and that will be it. Stardust Crusaders, they take City Center on Busan.
Point one, PogChamp. Interesting.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, definitely as the defending champions, this is not ideal as a start, but we have seen several games so far have this first map go to the eventual losers of the map. I think we saw that in... God, I want to say we saw it in the Pizza Planet game, we saw it in the I Need Healing game, and I think we saw it in the Prodigy Noobs game as well, so White Walkers certainly aren't out of this yet. Perhaps these next couple of maps will favor them a little bit more. Or these next couple of points on Busan.
Indeed. Seeing a little more traditional look coming out from Stardust Crusaders here, without the Widow, but a more brawl-focused composition.
We already see tanks on the side of White Walkers getting relatively low. Both of these teams have almost identical comps. Neither Reaper for White Walkers and McCree for Stardust Crusaders. And we already see a lot of members of White Walkers going down. Eldritch Arcana really high charged on this Zarya, kind of winning the duel against Charles in this current instance, and once again, Stardust Crusaders, they take the first capture on Sanctuary here.
Yeah, coming out of that fight pretty efficiently, and with just a significant but not huge ultimate lead as well.
Yeah,
You're having a very interesting flank position here.
Coucha already passed PogChamp. Here comes the tire. Oh my goodness. And that will shut that team fight down right away. 4K tire from Uravity. Wakaucha not being denied either. Gets one pick in that one. And that was a really cost-effective fight.
Yeah, no, that was about as clean of a tire fight as you can hope for. Unless you just stall it out actively before you use it for maximum time waste. But you know, that's awfully dangerous when you have the opportunity.
Yeah, that's just nitpicky at that point. Anytime you get a 4K tire, you're gonna be pretty happy. So here's the coalescence coming out from AKA Reflex. Mag Dragon has a sound barrier in order to counteract that. And Strife actually gets stunned out of the shatter, and Richard actually able to hit a nice counter shatter, and it does look like White Walkers are gonna be able to win this team fight. They just need to take out Mag Dragon, and they do. And with 69% on, 70% on the board, we do see White Walkers able to take their first capture here on Sanctuary. We'll see if they can hold on to it unlike they did on City Center.
Yeah, and that was a pretty expensive loss with Strife Shatter getting cancelled, and then both the DPS ult and Sound Barrier being used. Thankfully, it was equally expensive on the other side.
Ooh, and a whiffed grab there from Eldritch Arcana. That's a huge ult already down, but Gravity does get the pick onto Reflex. They had the Coalescence from Token Panda as well. That was doing a lot of damage. Gleam in the back line trying to take out as many as he can. Here comes the Death Blossom. It takes out Mag Dragon. The team fight is incredibly close, but Wakaucha absolutely popping off. Has the bubbles from Eldritch Arcana. Ziptail the only one here, and Stardust Crusaders once again with a one-fight recap here, and this is gonna be it. White Walkers have to win this next team fight, or they're probably gonna lose the map, and they don't have many ults to work with.
If Gravity finds another 4K tire here, this map is pretty well over. Oh, and he's gonna do the same thing he did last time.
Will White Walkers fall for it again? This time they kind of sniff it out. Gravity was actually in a compromising position, but he is able to get away, and now Richard and Strife are having a duel on the point. There's the Fire Strike on the Token Panda. Here comes the tire. It gets taken out by Gleam, and this is perfect opportunity for White Walkers to get back into this, but Gravity does find Richard, so the team fight is still very much up for grabs. Gleam able to get away, but Eldritch Arcana trying to beam him down, and there's the Sound Barrier from Ziptail. Actually, both support ults coming out. That might be detrimental in the long run for the White Walkers, but it looks like they will be able to win this team fight and remain alive on Busan. They just need to take out Strife. They actually do use the Pulse Bomb as well, so certainly a costly fight for White Walkers, but the advantage is they stay alive on the map for now.
Potentially, the win condition here is Charles eating or, severely neutering this Grab Dragon combo that's in all likelihood going to come through.
Or
because
perhaps
the ultimate economy is stacked on the side of Stardust Crusaders right now.
I would also say maybe if they could go aggressive with that Gravitic Flux. Oh, that is not a good start. The Gravitic Flux is very good as well, but Mag Dragon has the Sound Barrier. Everyone is still pretty much full health. This is already not looking too good for White Walkers, but there's a couple picks in their favor, and there's the Shatter to limit the follow-up, but the Grab Dragons is just too good. Both of the support ults being down certainly didn't help. Strife gonna use the Shatter in order to close this out, and that is looking like it will be it. They just need to take out PogChamp as well as Richard coming back here on the Wrecking Ball. Strife actually kind of whipped that charge, but it is most likely stall at this point unless we see a pick come from any of these players and Ziptail goes down. That might have been their only hope in turning this around. Charles is down to Reflex back in the fight, probably not going to do a whole lot, getting chased down by Eldritch Arcana. Has the bubbles. There's Gleam getting a couple with the Death Blossom. Interesting development here, but the tire, yep. Another Gravity tire. We'll close it out, and Stardust Crusaders with a great start here today in this match against the defending champions.
Play of the game.
Very clean there. They are. Stardust Crusaders are very lucky that Mag Dragon had that Sound Barrier, though. That was a good Sound Barrier to negate that really good Gravitic Flux from Charles that actually could have swayed that fight in White Walker's favor. So yeah, you almost wonder perhaps which ult on the White Walker side came out first. Was it the Coalescence or was it the Sound Barrier? Because even if they had one of those, they might have been able to not necessarily completely survive the Grab Dragons, but perhaps save at least one or two people that could have helped them turn the team fight around.
Indeed. No, Ultimate Economy on the side of Stardust Crusaders was just really tight. Part of that is off of, winning fights with 4K tires that are, started but not finished, and that's really good for building ults. And you could even, attribute some of it to when the Sombra is playing against you, you naturally have a tendency to build up more ults as you get hacked and can't use them. And then EMP is you're definitely not using any ults while you're EMP'd. And since they couldn't convert on those EMPs, or it might have only just been the one, honestly, I don't remember. Yeah, because he swapped to Echo. But when you can't convert on those EMPs, you are both losing that fight and forcing the enemy team to have good ultimate economy, because they can't use anything.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting to think, like, White Walkers actually were winning their fights really, like, quickly and convincingly, whereas Stardust Crusaders, they were a little more slow and methodical, and a lot of times I think White Walkers thought they could maybe turn it around with ults of their own, but Stardust Crusaders remaining strong here, and White Walkers might need to change the way they're kind of perceiving this game right now.
I would tend to agree, but this might be the kind of new team-ish. While it's still White Walkers, that was not the White Walkers that we have traditionally seen, either in... the Koreans would describe it as the color of a team. That was a different color of White Walkers than we have seen previously. Like, the attitude that they played with was... In some ways, it tried to be the same very confident, aggressive playstyle that we've seen out of them. But it was obvious that some of the pieces that enabled that, or not even the quality of the pieces, was less. It was just the way that they all fit together. Ziptail obviously looked fantastic on the Lucio. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah, that 3K was pretty insane.
When you're playing that brawl composition, the timings on Lucio's speed boost and backing people out, and when a fight is lost and it's time to leave, those things come from a lot of repetitious play, as much as they do communicative play. So actually,
Wukong, you were. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, I am done. Go ahead.
Point.
What?
Wukong, you were gonna say something?
Oh, any origin story for our Stardust Crusaders crypto, since you're their coach? Just wondered. I was curious.
I suppose I should, full disclosure, I am coaching Stardust Crusaders, but as they will all tell you, I am harder on them when I cast than I would ever be on an enemy team. They can go back and watch my cast.
I kind of learned that commentating with you on the Corgi Court games last year.
It's like, I will shred my own team, because I know that they'll take it from me. So, the origin story was largely... Corgis weren't coming back this season. As a whole, we had not enough players really to form the team, plus we had people tiering out or wanting to play tier 2. And so Magdragon kind of decided that she wanted to do her own team, and I told her, sure, I'll help you, Maggie. I'm game for that. And then we shopped around. We found that we could bring back a lot of people from Corgis, and who were Corgi adjacent, people who had played with them for a little bit. Wakochi just at the end of the season last year. And people wanted to off-roll. And we weren't, looking to be Corgis 2.0, or the second coming of Corgis at all. But it was very much about people wanted to off-roll, people wanted to try new roles, and let's give that opportunity, and let's have fun doing it. And we kind of put together something that is... I'm hesitant to say competitive, but, you take a map off White Walkers, and you're feeling okay.
Well, yeah, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, and in the power rankings, there are a lot of, high-profile names in this server on this team right now. And yes, some of them are playing off-roles. Uravity no longer can play that signature tank. And we are going to see some other off-roles. Obviously, Strife was playing tank there, but still, the players on Stardust Crusader are certainly a hodgepodge of some of the best in Stardust Crusaders, which is why I at the top of the broadcast and in the power rankings, I said they have the makings of being a super team. This is almost akin to You know, the Warriors or the Heat in the NBA, if you are hip to that. So, I mean, really, like, this is
I mean, if you imagine, and this actually really applies to White Walkers as well. If you take White Walkers team, put them all on their, you know, quote-unquote main roles. You take Stardust Crusaders and put them all on their main roles. You get something pretty spooky pretty fast on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So it's really fun to see how they transition into these, like, off-rolling situations. Like, I don't think we'd seen Charles play off-tank in quite some time.
I will say, I think, was he the one who would play Sigma when they wanted to play, like, if they had Richard and Charles in at the same time last year, like, Charles would play the Sigma? That's what I was expecting a little more of in that previous map.
Okay, they're both
That
ready.
might be the play. It's hard for me to remember White Walker Sigma's players. Drogon, we're not saying that. We're saying the potential is there. We're saying you are too. I don't know what you're talking about.
And then let's go.
Drogon.
I was saying Stardust was a super team before the game. I gotta come in with those spicy takes, you know. I gotta call team super teams so that I can possibly get proven wrong and look like a clown, like I did last year with White Walkers.
My opinion is, like, I like to reach outside the server for players because everybody gets to know everybody, so easily countered. So I feel like not every team is super team. Every team can be beaten. It's
No, I
having
mean,
the right
truly.
people.
I mean, to use Kirby's NBA example.
Yeah,
super
but like
teams can
in this league they're known as the great. Like I would love to have you already on my team. I would like it's just everybody wants a LeBron, everybody wants a Wade, Kobe, like.
So here we go, White Walkers. They're gonna start on the defense this time, and they are going a pretty traditional bunker comp here, maybe without the Bastion, but still pretty bunker-ish. We have a new tank lineup for them, Musketeer and Red Hood Kitty. Both of these players, star support players, but sadly now they're in Diamond, which, again, probably they deserve to be. So now they're gonna have to play tank here, so we'll have to see how they do. As for Stardust Crusaders, Zanny Boy, one of their pickups, is coming in here to play the Zarya, actually. Mag Dragon gonna show off that tank, see if they have other things that they can play other than support.
Indeed. A very potent defensive composition from the side of White Walkers. Very smooth.
And PogChamp immediately gets the first pick. He actually gets the first two picks there. A lot of hope from that Ashe. Still one of the strongest, not just hit scans, not just DPS, but strongest characters still in the game. That will be an incredibly convincing first team fight victory for White Walkers.
Yeah, that was absolutely destructive. I find it interesting also to see what their pathing is. I assume they will change it as they come in on the second fight, because taking that low ground right path, or left path, if you will, from their perspective, just PogChamp and the turret are going to farm you as you come through all day long.
Yep, and you are correct. They are going to try and take the high ground. White Walkers notice this and smartly back up to the point, but now Stardust Crusaders have high ground control. They're probably going to do the wraparound strategy here, and White Walkers are once again hit to that as well. Ravi trying to get up to the high ground to take out Bleem here. Good movement here by White Walkers. Playing around the shields right now. Bleem's turret is down, and here comes Ravi trying to get the pot shots onto some of the squishies here, but he gets taken down. The Strike is now in position. He takes out PogChamp. Eldritch Arcana builds up the first ult with the Coalescence, but the Immortality AK reflex is there. Zanny Boy, though, incredibly high charged already, and it does look like Stardust Crusaders have broken through and will capture point A.
Indeed. That, like, rotation, if you're not, it's so high risk and high reward both, because it takes so long to take that right side that if you lose that fight, you've spent, you know, probably 2 full fights worth of time on it. But it's so deadly if you can make it all the way around and, like, preserve your team, especially when they have like no way to really take that high ground back without PogChamp just, you know, farming people.
You got to give a lot of credit to that double dive from Uravity and Strife. They took out PogChamp, and the rest of the team could easily go through knowing that that hash load wasn't there. Magdragon trying to get aggressive, but does get taken out by Musketeer. Bleem did have the Molten Core in the way, so the rest of the team wasn't there to be able to help him. And Uravity actually even used the tire there, but aka Reflex with a nice Immortality field, and we do see White Walkers, they are able to stabilize for now.
Yeah, this comp gets even scarier here, because there's no, like, super cheesy long rotation you can go on to really make this work. So I'm curious if Stardust Crusaders will, you know, make a compositional swap on that. Or if they're going to try and force the ball.
Gravity already down both of the DPS on White Walkers, getting picks to open up this team fight. And yeah, Token Panda just gonna speed them out. They're already conceding this fight as well.
We do see a swap come out of Uravity onto the Ashe. I probably have a very hard time versus PogChamp though, without the Mercy Pocket. So we'll see how this matchup fares.
Yeah, for the attacking team, it's almost impossible to get to that high ground, so it's going to be tough. Here's the Bob coming out from PogChamp. Strife trying to get into the back line. Does take out one with the Death Blossom. Here comes the grab. Once again, another whipped grab for Stardust Crusaders, but looks like it won't be too big of a deal as they are winning the fight at large, but they do have to be careful. Ziptail did get the res on the PogChamp, and he takes out Uravity. So the payload is going to move here. It actually was not moving a lot there. And team fight's still up for grabs, but Zanny might be in trouble, and he does go down, so this might be a quick stabilization from White Walkers here, and the payload did not move particularly far.
Stardust Crusaders played that very poorly. They left their team behind, basically to deal with the permanent Ziptail PogChamp on high ground, with no way of fighting back, and, you know, we're literally in White Walker's spawn chasing kills, and then turned around and all split up and died. That was, after such a good fight conversion, with grab notwithstanding, that was so important.
So here we go. We do see Strife now swapping onto McCree. Uravity gets the pick onto Ziptail. That's huge. No res is available. Shatter coming out from Magdragon, and they are able to take out PogChamp with that. But once again, payload not moving yet, and Bleem able to take out Uravity. Musketeer is in a compromising position, and it does look like Stardust Crusaders will win the team fight. But once again, not a lot of payload movement, and White Walkers will almost certainly get another chance to contest here.
Indeed, the last point of Blizzard World 2 being just absolutely filthy.
Go Red Hood Kitty initiating this team fight with the Gravitic Flux, gets a couple people, and Magdragon is already down. Gravity throwing in the bomb, and Red Hood Kitty eats Sandy Boy's grab, that's huge. Bleem throwing in the Molten Core as well. And it does look like White Walkers are going to be able to stabilize here with about 40 seconds left. Strife trying to use the High Noon, but doesn't get anything. Maybe they think this is the last fight. I thought they definitely could have gotten one more. Ravi's still up on the high ground. Will he be able to get away? No. And this is looking dire for Stardust Crusaders.
Kitty just looking insane on the Sigma though. The fat ult, the grab eat, the mid-fight value. Like, holy cow. He's just good.
Stardust Crusaders can initiate with the Coalescence, but beyond that they will not have anything. And they have to fight a Bob, Supercharger, and Amplification Matrix. The Supercharger's out right away, but Eldritch Arcana using the Coalescence to take it out. Sturt is also down. No one's down yet. In fact, Sandy Boy finds the opening pick. Are you kidding me? Are Stardust Crusaders going to be able to win this? aka Reflex popping the Amplification Matrix and gets taken out. Gravity absolutely popping off on the Ashe, and wow, that fight was stacked in against Stardust Crusaders, and they are able to pull it out though and extend the time bank here on Blizzard World.
Yeah, this is really a fight for distance now. I don't think 120 on the clock is enough to complete this map unless the roll comes through hugely. But we do see both tank ults on the side of Stardust Crusaders, and big tank swaps, actually just swaps all over the place on the side of White Walkers. So, what happens next could be a little violent.
60 seconds.
And now they don't have anything to eat. Sandy Boy's grabbing Mag Dragon with a beautiful Fire Strike on the PogChamp early Immortality field. They do get the res on the PogChamp. There's the grab, and here comes Bob. That's already quite a bit of damage. Ravi able to take out PogChamp. And yeah, it looks like Stardust Crusaders is going to be able to win another fight. And they are still going to have 4 ults to try and close this map out. They have a really good chance
30 seconds.
at completing all 3 points on Blizzard World.
Yeah, suddenly with double support ult and the tank ultimate, the chances on the side of the Stardust Crusaders go up massively.
Here we go, PogChamp's already down, and that's just one ult expended. It's the Coalescence, and this is already once again looking dire. There's the Shatter onto Red Hood Kitty. She will certainly go down Strife. Gonna use the Deadeye, able to take out Ziptail. Will it be able to get into overtime? It looks like it will. PogChamp is back, but he gets Musketeer gets taken out of Shatter. And that will be it. All 3 points captured for Stardust Crusaders. Yeah, it was looking dire for them on point B, but they are able to get it done, and we'll have to see if White Walkers can come back mentally from probably a missed opportunity that they know they let slip through their hands.
Indeed. Chat asking, what arc of JoJo is this again? I forgot the part where he played Overwatch. For those of you following along at home, Stardust Crusaders is a JoJo reference. Yes, a JoJo reference in your Overwatch.
A little fact, or a little thing here. KO was gonna be named Stardust Crusaders, but it lost the vote to Cosmic Omnics in our team vote.
Really?
Yeah, I told Mag about that.
Great minds think alike. I like it.
Attackers incoming in 30
But
seconds.
yeah.
And I don't watch anime, so this stuff doesn't mean anything to me. But as we're looking at the
sports anime.
would I watch a sports anime?
Yes.
I don't know.
I have
depends.
two in
There's
mind.
good
I
ones.
think
There's
you
good
would
ones out there.
Are there any American football ones?
There's no
Probably
American
not.
football yet, but there's boxing. I think you dig on the boxing.
3, 2,
Okay, well,
1.
Okay.
Attackers.
I've been suggested a lot, but so here we go. Now we see White Walkers on the attack, and they're actually going to go with double sniper here on the attack. Interesting look. Red Hood Kitty going to the Diva now, and we are going to see a similar bunker comp that White Walkers ran on defense out here from Stardust Crusaders, but they are playing way back on the point in the that fight on point. But Red Hood Kitty takes Gravity down right away. That is a huge start to this team fight, and Stardust Crusaders don't have the Mercy, so no res is available. Here comes Musketeer coming around the corner, able to block the accretion coming out from Zanny Boy. No picks. In fact, everyone is relatively healthy. Will Ravi be able to get back? He's actually almost here, and there's the Immortality field out from Reflex, who almost does have that Amplification Matrix ready. But Strife takes out Bleem. That's a huge pick, and I think that White Walkers just took a little bit too long. There's the Amp Matrix, but it's looking like it won't matter as Stardust Crusaders do turn that fight around. Ziptail goes down, and yeah, wow, they were able to hold on that 5v6 for long enough for Gravity to get back, and they won the fight.
A mistake from each team I saw there. Uravity choked his mind jump backwards into the Griffin truck. That should have won the point for White Walkers right there. On White Walker's side, this is actually a continuing theme. Reflex is really trigger happy on his ultimates. He's popping them early and often.
So here we go, once again, White Walkers getting the opening pick, PogChamp with the headshot on the Stripe. This is just as good of a chance as they had, but now they have to deal with ultimates. Sandy Boy popping the Forbidic Flux, but a good Immortality field from AKA Reflex. There's the Shatter from Musketeer, but doesn't really find anything, and here comes the Tire. It takes out 3, and it looks like, once again, Stardust Crusaders are going to be able to stabilize once again after losing the first pick of the fight.
There's actually some incredibly late picks there. Ziptail not going down until 15 20 seconds after the fight really ended.
And what's
Going
even
to buy you time for
crazier,
your ad to get back.
what's even crazier is that was even a pretty ultimate efficient fight. They only use the gravitic flux and the tires, so they're gonna have 4 ults coming into this next fight.
Indeed, like, we do see some ultimate build finally coming through on the side of White Walker.
And yeah, here comes the dragons from PogChamp. And this has to be it where they find it. Here comes the duplicate out from Beam. Maybe a little bit of a overzealous supercharger there from Mag Dragon as he put it right in front of Bleem. And we're getting pretty much everything from both of these teams right now. And it does look like White Walkers will be able to win this fight, but man, needing 3 attempts to win fights where you get the first pick, that is definitely tough. And they're already fighting the clock 3 minutes in the time bank right now, and Blizzard World can be a tricky map to attack, especially the second point where high ground control is hard to come by.
The good news, all they have to do is finish the map. Doesn't matter how much time is left, and if they finish it with over a minute, it becomes only drawable for Stardust. And they have quite a bit of time. They have roughly 4.5 minutes or so left to finish this map. It's extremely over.
We see PogChamp going over to that signature Tracer. Musketeer already down. Red Hood Kitty incredibly low as well. And yeah, Danny Boy gonna take this opportunity to go rest with the Gravitic Flux. Actually did not really need it. Tried to get the people who were already incredibly low, and Sprite took them out anyway. But still, once again, pretty ult efficient. That was the only one they needed. And now only 2 minutes left on the clock for White Walkers. And I will say I don't think having 1 minute on the clock is very likely at this point. So Stardust Crusaders almost certainly guaranteed at least another attack.
Absolutely. Probably 2. Kitty on a big flank into the back line.
So there's the grab coming out from Red Hood Kitty, but a good immortality here from Token Panda, but too many ults to overcome both the grab and the coalescence coming out from White Walkers. And they will win the fight, but we will almost certainly see a recontest attempt. Actually, PogChamp trying to take out Urabi. Will they be able to do it? No. Urabi able to get back to the team for safety. So here we go, another fight gonna start up here as Payload approaches 1 feet. And Bleem takes out Urabi, who tried to get in there as quickly as he could to contest, and there's a nice shatter from Musketeer, but actually even better immortality from Token Panda. Token Panda has some really good immortality so far, and Stripe gonna try and use the Deadeye, not able to find anything. Teamfight still up for grabs. Bleem using that duplicate, and here comes the tire. It only takes out the duplicate and the supercharger. The teamfight is still incredibly close, but it's not looking too good. Bleem trying to use the focus beam to take out Urabi, but I think that's it. Stardust Crusaders are going to be able to stabilize. Bleem gets the exiting pick, but spawn advantage will just be too much to overcome, and only 30 seconds left here for White Walkers. And no ults to their name. They're in the position that Stardust Crusaders were in last time, except this time Stardust Crusaders don't really have the ults, so gonna see kind of a clean final fight here.
Indeed, very neutral on both sides. Reflex finding the first pick.
Yeah, Elvish Arcana down. That's a tough start to this fight, and yeah, with Mag Dragon also down, Urabi can install all he wants on the Mei, but he will likely get taken down very shortly. Actually is doing a pretty good job at stalling here, but the Bleem and PogChamp in the front lines able to take out anyone that stood in their way. And yeah, here we go. This attack for White Walker is looking incredibly similar to the one on the side of Stardust Crusaders.
Indeed. The stagger that's probably going to come out on Mag Dragon here is going to be, oh, but she does get out.
This will restore you.
We see a very interesting swap. Stripe over to the Tracer. Probably looking to defend his title and one of the better Tracers in Tier 3.
60 seconds.
Yeah, definitely wants to have that Well, actually, we do see. Oh, the flank shatter, but a great wall from Gravity, and they have the immortality heal from Token Panda as well. So Team by Silver grabs Eldritch Arcana, able to take out Musketeer. They popped the rally to give everyone armor, being able to build up a Fitting Flux with the duplicate from Echo, and all the ults coming out here, only 30 seconds left. Who's going to be able to win this fight? Red Hood Kitty able to take out Mag Dragon. It's actually incredibly close, and PogChamp dueling Gravity here in the small room. This isn't good because there's the wall, but PogChamp goes down anyway, and there comes the Blizzard from Gravity. Only 15 seconds left. Team up on the high ground, trying to find the picks, and here comes the Coalescence from Zip Table, able to take out Eldritch Arcana, but that amplification matrix might be too much for Musketeer to handle. He's incredibly low. Overtime is initiated here, and Mag Dragon also going to use the Supercharger, but the wall from Gravity, maybe a little bit of anti-synergy there. Team fight still up for grabs. Gravity trying to use the Ice Block to contest on point here. PogChamp does a lot of damage to Gravity. Gravity is down. PogChamp, though, not able to survive Zandy Boy. Team by Silver grabs. Here comes Strife, able to get run with the Pulse Bomb. In fact, that was onto Reflex, who had the sound barrier. This is looking all too good right now. For Stardust Crusaders, Eldritch Arcana gonna pop the rally once again. Strife takes out Musketeer, and I think that will be it. Red Hood Kitty, the only one here still on payload. And Stardust Crusaders take the 2-0 lead.
Whew. Nice motor mouth in there, Mr. Games Crazy. That was
thank you. That was an intense final fight there. Wow.
Your resistance.
Need a drink of my water here after that one.
No, that was so there's been a lot of discussion in chat about compositions, and yes, I'm afraid what Stardust Crusaders was running there might be the thing. I don't like it any more than you guys do. I don't like Orisa, I don't like Brig, but yeah, it's kind of nasty. It's just so hard to push into people when they have, you know, a bunch of healing and stuns for days, and especially you work in the Mei and like you have another line of, you know, advancement stall. Ooh, it's scary. It's scary. But again, I do think that was a very impressive look from some of the off rolls on not on Stardust Crusaders, on White Walkers. Like Kitty on tank, so good. And Musketeer, looked so good. Genuinely, very excited to see how that tank dude continues playing throughout this series and just in general. But Kitty
Honestly,
Sigma, OP.
I think you could maybe argue that White Walkers actually played the better map, overall, but they made the bigger mistakes, especially their losing that last team fight on point B on their defense. They would have won the map if they could have closed that out with the 2-ult advantage that they had, but, well, that's in the past now, and White Walkers only have the reverse sweep as the potential to win this game, but if you remember, back in the regular season, they got the reverse sweep over C9, so we know this team is capable of doing that and making the adjustments they need to do in order to get themselves back in it.
Indeed. I'm continue. Let's see. Oh, we have... So, for Hanamura, we're seeing Eldritch and Strife go back to the tank line. Gravity and Wakocha move into the DPS line. Well, Gravity's staying put. And then Magdragon and Strap, take the Strap 69, who we haven't seen yet this series, is going to come in to play Hanamura.
Yeah, and take the Strap, one of the star members of that C9 team that sadly did have to forfeit their season, but a really, really good Mercy player. It'll actually be interesting if Magdragon is going to stay in here, or is going to go back to support. We might see maybe Take the Strap can also play Moira as well, so maybe we'll see some Moira Lucio comps here, perhaps?
No, we're just waiting for White Walkers. Give me their lineup.
And one thing that's interesting, yeah, we'll have to see. Oh, make sure to swap the spectators as well. We'll have to see if Silent Tamer comes in here for White Walkers. One of the star DPS players last season, has an incredible Pharah to their name. One thing that I think White Walkers are hoping is that they can do just well enough at the beginning, or the first half of the season, and get into the playoffs, so then they can get Pander back, who is going to need to serve an 8-game suspension. But if they can get Pander back, get some of that hit and prowess that they have, I mean, and they make the playoffs, you cannot count them out at all.
Chat. We have the ready from Stardust Crusaders, but we don't have anything yet. White Walkers going back to the war chest. looking for some thoughts. Cloud Lemon awesomely was having mic problems or controller problems earlier, and that is why he is no longer here.
You know, it's kind of interesting. I think from my memory, I think this, besides the game where they got the reverse sweep over C9, this is the only time that White Walkers have ever been down more than 2 maps. Because even the game they lost against Diving Phoenix, I think, what was that, a 2-1-1 scoreline, I think, and it came down to the last map. So, you know, White Walkers maybe not used to this situation quite as much, which, you know, is an adjustment in and of itself. But like I said, they did have that reverse sweep against C9, so it's not like they haven't been in this position before, but certainly an uncomfortable one for them to be in, considering even in the playoffs they were getting off to huge leads. What did they started off, I mean, they only dropped 1 map in their playoff run, I think, and that was in the championship to Pizza Planet when it was already 3-0. They drew a map to Valhalla, but other than that, they were pretty unstoppable.
So we're seeing Richard and Charles come back in, along with Silent Tamer, as you proposed, and PogChamp, and then the Reflex Ziptail support line is staying.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we've seen a divergence from that support line, which I actually do think they are playing pretty well, and I don't think White Walkers are playing bad at all. I just think that they're just making those little mistakes here and there in team fights, maybe getting a little too split up or using one too many ults, and Stardust Crusaders are doing a great job at pouncing on those opportunities, using their ults a little bit more wisely, and just overall, you know, winning team fights that they shouldn't, or fully winning team fights that they should, whereas White Walkers, kind of the opposite, losing fights that they should have won, and not winning fights fast enough, or not losing fights fast enough.
Sure. I don't know. Curious, so curious. Do we have the ready? No, not yet.
You're having voice chat issues.
Oh boy.
Oh, the dreaded console chat bug strikes once again.
Okay.
Oh, what do we do if there's a voice chat issue? Oh,
Well, I mean, if they can't figure it out, they can...
Starting now, sorry.
Okay, oh, ready? Okay.
Okay.
So...
Okay, everything's good, Hanamura.
We are...
Everybody switched
ready
over. Okay.
to go.
Oh, it's a Kirby. One thing I wanted to say, like, I like to call myself the Greg Popovich of Oasis. Just putting that out there.
The what?
The Greg Popovich.
Me?
Me.
Oh, yeah, like, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean.
I was focusing on chat for a second, but... Yeah, no, I mean, I will... To diverge from this game for a second, yeah. Cosmic Omnics and you guys have done a great job at scouting out talent and bringing people in, so... But... Let's get back to this game, where we are going to see the sides flip. We're going to see the White Walkers on the attacks. Sorry, it took me a couple seconds. You know, it's funny. I actually only commentated one White Walkers game last season, and that was their playoff game against Valhalla. So, but
we do
here
need
we
a
go.
bot Korean. I fully agree.
Now here we go. On the defense, it does look like Stardust Crusaders, they are gonna hang around on that Rhine Zarya comp that they were running a lot of in the previous map, with the Junkrat and the Ashe, as well as the Mercy Moira, which, yeah, I was wondering which player was gonna play the Mercy, because both of these players are very proficient on Mercy. And it looks like Magdragon will be the Mercy and Take the Strap will be the Moira. As for White Walkers, they're gonna go with the Rhine D.Va comp. Richard showing off D.Va, but it's already incredibly low. But we do see White Walkers through the choke. Richard not able to make it though, and Stardust Crusaders remaining firm on this point. But Silent Tamer takes out Magdragon, and there come the picks for White Walkers. That's a good start. Magdragon being down means no res is available. White Walkers still gonna try and take this slowly. They don't want to get taken out by Uravity. Charles able to fire strike, take the strap, so both healers are not here on the side of Stardust Crusaders, only the tanks, and they are incredibly low. Here comes Richard back in the mech, and I think it's only a matter of time before White Walkers are able to capture point A. Here comes Magdragon, gonna get a sneaky res actually onto Uravity. I don't know how much it's gonna matter though. Uravity does have the tire though. Trying to get into position to use it. Actually still relatively full health, able to take out PogChamp, is going to use it. Gets taken out by Charles. A worthwhile attempt. We'll see if he uses this opportunity to swap, but no matter what, point A has been captured by White Walkers.
I would hope he's planning to squat. Okay, and he is. I was going to say, if he doesn't, that is a very aggressive tire. That's one of those scribble down a note and ask later why you do that.
I actually thought he was actually up in the window. I thought he had a chance to maybe have a good tire there, because I don't know if people were looking at him. Coucha gets taken out right away. Both support ults being used on the side of White Walkers, and they almost have both of their tank ults as well. Magdragon goes down. This could be an incredibly quick snowball. Oh no! But Charles gets taken out of his shatter, and Richard doesn't find anything with the self-destruct. That's 4 ults being used, 5 ults! Silent Tamer trying to turn it around, gets taken out by Eldritch Arcana, and a good chance at a snowball is averted on the side of Stardust Crusaders, but still 4.5 minutes left for White Walkers to try and capture point B.
Indeed. I get a little concerned about the ult economy situation with the 6-man swaps, or the 6-man resets on White Walkers when we have 5 online and another at 66 for Stardust. But they have a lot of time, and I think you can probably bleed these ults out of Stardust Crusaders pretty efficiently.
So now here we go. Let's see what rotation they want to choose. Ooh, that is not a good start to this team fight. Wakaucha takes out PogChamp with the dynamite, and I don't think that's in a retzable spot either, as Wakaucha definitely camping that body, and they are in a tough position. Richard actually does take out Uravni, but Wakaucha showing a lot of proficiency here on the hit scan, and that will be that team fight. They only needed to use the Shatter as well, Stardust Crusaders, and yeah, if they keep staggering their ults like this, there is almost no chance that White Walkers are going to be able to capture point B.
Oh snap, the PogChamp Genji has entered. And we also see Ziptail leaving the Mercy and going over to the Moira. Going to be a ton of mid-fight healing in this top left corner if you're White Walkers. Like, just an insane amount with the grab.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're almost kind of running a little bit more of a brawl comp now, staying on that. Or now they're on the Ryan Zarya, so here we go. Here comes Silent Tamer, going to initiate this team fight with a tire. Doesn't find anything though. I think had a chance early to take up both Strife and that one, maybe even trying to get too big in those bridges. And now here comes both the grab and the lob coming out from Eldritch Arcana and Wakaucha, and Strife should be able to clean up this team fight very easily. aka Reflex with a nice sleep on to take the scrap to cancel out the Coalescence, but that will be it. We did see Stardust Crusaders have to use 3 ults in that team fight, and they're gonna see White Walkers coming back with possibly 3 or 4 of their own, so this might be the best chance for them to capture point B.
Indeed. Absolutely. The ult bleed that we were talking about, I think that was, you know, it's incremental. They used 2 ults, they got Stardust to use 3 ults. That kind of incremental advantage, you build it up over another fight or 2, and you have the ultimate economy you need to convert.
So here we go. Ooh, Silent Tamer almost getting stunned and killed, but luckily is able to get the peel from the team. Charles is actually incredibly low. White Walkers trying to take the fight onto the point, and here comes the Coalescence coming out from Ziptail. All the ults actually coming out from White Walkers. 2 picks already for them, but Uravni able to get 2 with the Deadeye. That's massive. The picks are still going in favor of White Walkers. Will they at least be able to get a tick? Yes, they do. And a nice Graviton Surge to take Coucha out of the fight, and Strife coming back with the Shadow. Richard is so low, uses the bubbles. Meg Dragon not gonna be able to heal Strife. Strife went for the pin, but got out of the fight. Maybe a little bit of a misplay there. PogChamp does get taken out by Eldritch Arcana. Eldritch Arcana is coming back. Wakaucha gets the headshot onto aka Reflex, take the strap. Gonna use the Coalescence, and I think that's gonna be it for this team fight, but actually fairly successful. They do get just over 2 ticks, White Walkers, so they at least avoid the possibility of only getting a draw if they let go of point A on their defense.
Absolutely. This is absolutely the ult bleed that we were talking about. We have Tire, we have Nano, we have, you know, Cole, we have Shatter, and all Corgis are going to have is maybe Grav and Sight, and that's not a great place to be.
Here we go. There's the Nano boost onto Charles, all the ults immediately coming down, but the Shatter gets whipped and the Tire only takes out 1. There's 2 picks though for Silent Tamer, and this is still looking pretty solid. But Meg Dragon gets away with a sneaky res on the Strike. That's a huge stall character that they might be able to use for a while. Still a lot of picks going in favor of White Walkers and Strife. Ooh, maybe a ill-advised pin takes him out of the fight there and gives a lot of progress up to White Walkers, and that will be it there. White Walkers able to capture both points, however it was in overtime, so if Stardust Crusaders are able to capture both points with a minute remaining or more, they will win the series.
One thing that I'll give you a coach's note. Eldritch Arcana never actually used his Grav. And I understand wanting to hold it. Yeah, no, he ended that map with a Grav. And he had it for the previous 2 fights, in fact, I believe. And that's one of those, I appreciate the restraint in using it, but you really would like to burn out and, you know, use that at least during the stall as an option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to buy some time as hammer swings for Strife, you know.
Yeah, that is interesting, especially in kind of those dire circumstances. They're obviously trying to win fights using the least amount of ults possible is certainly ideal, but you also want to make sure you do win those fights, so sometimes you do have to expend more ults than you would like, but that is, once again, in the past, and now they get the chance on offense. We'll see if their offense can be even stronger than White Walkers, but White Walkers, they're showing the bunker again. This time, they have the Bastion, and Mag Dragon goes down right away. Silent Tamer, already a quarter of the way to tire. No big deal.
Okay, so this is always an interesting question in how you approach this. And the tactics they're using is, you know, kind of appealing. Hard telepoint, take the cap.
Yep, here it is. They already got the tick. They've almost got 2 ticks already. They do have 2 ticks. What are White Walkers doing? They need to get onto the point. They might just lose it like that. And now they're in a tough spot. The wall comes onto Charles, and he gets burned down by the turrets. And now Richard is in a compromising position. Ziptail able to get the res onto Charles, and PogChamp does reposition. The team fight is incredibly close. He needs to find more picks and actually builds up the tank configuration, but Eldritch Arcana takes him out. And that's gonna be it! They take it! Charles not able to touch! And what a crazy start to Stardust Crusaders' attack! That was one of the most interesting fights I think I've ever seen in this league.
It was very funny because it took the obvious, I don't want to call it a cheese strategy. I love Bastion. But like, you know, the Bastion semi-cheese, and took its one weakness, which is it's static, and went even more like, you know, static hardpoint defense than they did, and just made them figure it out, and they couldn't figure it out in time. Although I would argue White Walkers won that fight, they just won it too slowly without enough point control.
Silent Tamer actually sneaks into Stardust Crusaders' backline and is able to take out Mag Dragon, but now he's in a compromising location and will get taken out, but the spawn advantage will certainly favor him in this instance. In fact, Stardust Crusaders very content with playing the long game, but Gravity does get taken out. That must have been a good pull by Richard. Ooh, the wall almost does zone him away from the rest of White Walkers. And Wakaucha actually able to get a nice headshot on the PogChamp, so we'll see what Stardust Crusaders want to do. There's still about a 5v5, shortly a 5v6, as PogChamp is almost back into the team fight, coming back as the Ashe.
Gravity is back as well, though Wakaucha goes down. Stardust Crusaders really need to make a concerted, like, effort and try and fight this through, but it looks like they're pulling it off.
They do use both support ults here. Maybe a good trade for that Gravitic Flux, and they are certainly on the point right now, but Strike might be in a compromising position, gets the bubble from Eldritch Arcana, and Silent Tamer from the high ground takes out Thor with the tire. And
Strike doesn't even try and block it. That's just game.
We will...
That is a very important stabilization from White Walkers, though. That could have easily been the series. Because keep in mind, if this goes to a draw, series is over. So they don't even... If they cap with over a minute left, series done. That's important to keep in mind as you're watching this time bank tick down on the side of Stardust Crusaders.
White Walkers did use quite a bit of ults in this team fight, and 2 very impactful ults coming online for Stardust Crusaders. The Blizzard might be huge, but Gravity gets taken down right away. That's like the 3rd team fight in a row he's died as early as he did. When no one is passing the point right now, there's a free tick here. And we do see AK Reflex dropping the amplification matrix from the high ground. There's the Blizzard, able to focus out Charles, but a nice immortality kill from AK Reflex. And that's a Blizzard. Kinda not getting the value you would hope for from Makocha.
So
And they do get one tick, but they lose the fight.
they pick up a tick and they build some support ultimates. Gosh dang it, Gravity. Like, I don't know where he's at. He's just kind of feeding. Like, he's getting farmed on the entry on all of these fights.
Yeah, if he hadn't been taken out in those, like, seriously, the last 3 fights they've had, they probably would have guaranteed themselves the victory. And now, it's kind of interesting. There's still 2 minutes left total and a minute in order for them to guarantee themselves the series victory, but, you know, it's tough on these maps because of the stagger potential we have from the defense. So here we go. Actually, oh no! Richard eats Eldritch Arcana's grab. That's another massive ult on the side of Stardust Crusaders, just not there, and PogChamp able to take out Makocha, who's now on the Widowmaker. Gravity falls once again, and yeah, this is it. We will at least for sure see some extra rounds, as I don't think they'll be able to cap in time. They are still going to try go aggressive. Charles tried to use the Shatter there, did get blocked by Eldritch Arcana's bubble. And Strife actually taking out Charles. So this team fight is relatively up for grabs, but Silent Tamer from the high ground, that's actually a really good sound barrier from Mag Dragon, but will it be enough? Yes, it will. The tire is down. Richard the Heart using Limited Flux now that that's down the sound barrier, and Uravi able to get one onto Richard with the tire. But the picks are still going in White Walker's favor, and that might have been Stardust Crusaders' best chance here. And they're going into this last team fight with maybe a grab to their name, maybe a Coalescence.
Indeed, this suddenly, like, the ult bleed on the side of Stardust Crusaders, like, they're feeding. They're playing very poorly onto the second point. And they're getting punished for it, rightfully so. White Walkers are playing tight, they're playing smooth. The biggest hope that they have is honestly that they're playing Lucio Mercy, and that's not a great comp you want to fight with in an extended role. But we'll see how it goes. We see them actually swapping to a dive on the side of Stardust.
Yeah, they're gonna not even take the grab here. They're going full dive. They're trying to get onto Ziptail here, who is able to fly away and survive for now. Will anyone be able to touch the point? Yes, they will. No one's down yet on either side, and the ults are starting to build up. Trades on both sides. There's the Shatter from Charles. Silent Tamer able to take out Strife, and this is just not looking good for Stardust Crusaders. And it looks like White Walkers will be able to stay alive. The reverse sweep dream is still there. Coucha left the game. I don't think we need to pause for this
one.
Are you sure? Yeah,
oh, okay.
Can anyone even touch?
Yeah.
No. No, that one
I didn't.
I don't think was needed. If they chew us out for that, I don't know.
Yeah, because they were all down, and even if I would have stopped it, they wouldn't have came back on time.
Yeah, no, we just don't need to
Alright,
waste our time on that one.
Well, suddenly we've got a series on our hands.
Yeah, we did not see any of the other games so far go to map 5. Will this be the first one that goes to a map 5? It'll be very interesting to see if that's the case.
Interesting, interesting. What does chat have to say? There we go, White Walkers. Let's go, babies. Super close. Let's go, White Walkers. Map 5 only comes with 2-2. Correct.
Oh, they're explaining
what? You wanna kick Beat Marin here?
Oh, I didn't see them. Sorry. Oh, there you go. They left. Okay, next map. Yeah, sorry for that. Next map is...
Okay, so one thing, it's not best of 5 like at first. It's technically best of 4 because there's 4 map types. You play those 4 map types. Whoever has more map wins, they win the series. That being said, you can get to a point where it's 2-2 and you need a tiebreaker. It's for us. It's not first to 3. It's not best of 5. It's best of 4. Tiebreaker if needed. Essentially, think of the tiebreaker as like overtime.
Yes.
I know, I feel like that gets confusing at times. You know, you see that most teams obviously win with 3 points, so you automatically think, oh, best of 5. Because that's typically how best of 5 goes, first to 3 wins, but Overwatch is a little bit different. They almost need to do a 5th map type just to maybe make it a little bit easier on not just competitive play in general. They obviously have the Overwatch League too. I am excited for that push game mode coming to Overwatch 2, which we'll see if that ends up replacing 2CP. I would not be surprised if 2CP is no longer a game mode in Overwatch 2, considering how unpopular it is, but you never know.
Kirby, let's switch them all right here, right?
Yes, switch them once again. At least that's how we've always done it. If that was changed, I did not see it.
No, I'm just making sure, because that's the only thing I never get right is when to switch them. I always ask.
Yeah, I am glad that White Walkers have made this a series. This was definitely one of the games I was super excited for. I was also excited for the I Need Healing Cosmic Omnix game, which I am sure OwO can attest was maybe a little bit more one-sided than we were expecting, but this time around, a match certainly living up to the hype. Even the 2 maps that White Walkers lost were actually pretty close, all things considered. So
I think game was so much fun, honestly. It
was a really good watch. I thoroughly enjoyed the White Walkers Omnix.
Yeah, it was just interesting because we did see pretty solid individual play from both teams, but I overall think that you just have to give the nod to I Need Healing. They had the better team play. They had the better ult usage.
Yeah, they were more ready than we were. And that's
yeah,
it happened.
For sure. And like you were talking to me before the stream started, you were missing a couple of your best players.
You haven't swapped Stardust Crusaders yet?
What?
You haven't finished swapping Stardust Crusaders yet? Yes, you have.
Yeah, I have. What am I missing? Bleem, Ray, Red, Deer, Eldritch.
Yeah, there was no swap for White Walkers, and you've already made. What's he talking about? Black Dragon, Zany, Uravity, Wakocha, Firestorm, Strap. Maybe you were doing it as they typed it?
I think so.
Because both Maggie and Strife were both. You haven't swapped us yet.
Oh, because I was like making sure everything else was fine.
Okay.
Because I was looking at the map, making maps ready, like.
We have ready from Stardust. We do not yet have ready from Musk.
We are going to see Firestorm Rebel here going to play some support, mainly known for playing DPS for Core v Core, so we'll have to see how they do on this new role. I don't, forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't think they ever played support on Corridor, but that might be incorrect.
Maybe Mercy here and there? I don't remember.
Yeah, would you guess that they
Charles
might
said
run
ready.
another Mercy Moira comp here with Firestorm and take the scrap?
So there's a possibility we see Firestorm Lucio.
Yeah, be that Lucio Moira comp I was talking about before Hanamura.
She also might play. She's been working a lot on the Baptiste.
Okay.
Looking, pretty good.
I'm
pretty
gonna
good.
start. I guess they said ready. I'm gonna start.
White Walkers said ready?
Yeah.
when Kitty antagonizes you, is that the full go?
No, it's because Bleem said no, and then Charles said ready.
Bleem's on the bench, Charles is in the game. That was my thought.
Yeah.
He might have been.
And then Kitty.
I can't take Charles serious sometimes.
I never take Charles seriously.
That's why I was questioning it, and I was like, is he ready or not?
Maybe or not, here we come.
So, here we are on Dorado. Yep, White Walkers, they did not make any swaps. They are gonna ride or die with this comp probably for the rest of the game. We do see a couple other swaps here on the side of Stardust Crusaders. Danny Boy coming back in.
Okay, this is... If Stardust Crusaders roll out on this comp, I haven't even seen this. This is some spicy special sauce. Like, they are off the playbook, if you will.
Well, they've got 20 seconds, 15 seconds to make their decisions. I would be very interested to see if this team comp would work. It certainly can. Very dive oriented.
The Baptiste
Maybe gonna be
is
tough
a little
to-
shaky.
I was gonna say it's gonna be tough to dive into double shield though, which we see White Walkers gonna roll with, kind of like they did on their defense on Hanamura. So here we go. Ooh, PogChamp immediately getting the headshot onto Wakaucha. We'll see if that will be res. I think it can be res now, but perhaps since it's such a short spawn, they're gonna go
She
ahead.
actually swapped. She swapped over the Widow.
Oh, I see. Okay. So yeah, now we've got a hit scan battle between PogChamp and Wakaucha, and well, obviously getting the hit scan to try and deal with this Farah as well is very important. So here we go. Wakaucha actually on a side flank trying to find the picks, and there we go. The picks are now going in favor of Stardust Crusaders. Richard, Silent Tamer, and Reflex all down. The tanks really showing up here for Stardust Crusaders, and I think that is just going to be it. So a little hairy at first for Stardust Crusaders, but they immediately snowball the payload 2.8.
I think this is... So this... It looked like a brawl comp. What it is turned into... Or it looked like a dive comp. What it is turned into is a... Use all of your abilities that hurt people when you hit them, like physically with your body, and so like Magdragon is body checking people with her mech, Uravity's dashing people, Zany's going bowling, and they're just kind of smashing.
Perhaps innovating a new comp, maybe. We need to send this to some of the pros in the Overwatch League, see what they think. But you see Immortality Field coming out from AKA Reflex, but it's taken down, and now Uravi might have free reign with this blade, able to take out AKA Reflex, and the payload continues to just blaze through the point here. Silent Tamer able to take out the only one that was testing the payload, and there's the barrage, but only takes out one. Actually, both of the supports down for now. Ziptail trying to get some picks of her own, but will fall. And that might have been just enough of a stall for at least 3 hits here at the end of point B.
Indeed, with no supports really on the side of Stardust Crusaders right now, they're totally good. Okay,
no!
that works too.
And that might have been a bit of a C9, especially since you now see Silent Tamer takes out Zanny Boy, and they use the Gravitic Flux But now, with the spawn advantage back in favor of Stardust Crusaders, White Walkers, they gotta keep backing up despite the fact that they keep getting picks. Gravity will get res by take the strap, but again, they continue to back up and Wakaucha absolutely dominating on this Widowmaker right now. That's 2 headshots in a row. PogChamp finally takes him out, but the damage might already be done. Zanny going aggressive with the mines. PogChamp goes down. This might be an absolute record-setting time for Stardust Crusaders. The payload has barely stopped this entire time. You have to see they still have a good ult advantage too. Here comes the blade from Gravity. Already taking out Silent Tamer, there's the Valkyrie. This is just not looking good for White Walkers. They had the momentum and now it is going to be almost impossible to get it back because that is 4 minutes and 25 seconds in the time bank for Stardust Crusaders.
That is blistering. Holy crap!
I gotta apologize, Crypto, didn't let you do any color there, but there was no stoppage in play there. The payload just kept moving.
I tried to chime in to give you a second to catch your breath, but otherwise I was just sitting here kind of, what I imagined the audience was like, oh, well, Coach is going to pick 2 more. Nice. And a 3rd. Nice. Oh, and then they C9, and then she, you know, like, just, okay.
Yeah, that just, again, kind of another bizarre thing kind of happened. Stardust Crusader kind of pulling out the bag of tricks here. Playing some Ball Diva on this attack, and of course there's Sim Strat there on Hanamura. You know, this team, perhaps their most dangerous thing is how many looks they can give you, whereas, you know, White Walkers, they've kind of struggled outside of, you know, maybe some of those double shield comps with the Sigma, which it looks like they're gonna play here on the attack, but we'll have to see. I mean, they're not gonna beat the time bank, that's for sure, but to at least, you know, get maybe 2 minutes, the map could still be winnable for White Walkers.
The thing White Walkers have going for them is, well, okay. I was going to say, the thing that White Walkers have going for them is, how do you remove PogChamp? This comp does not have a way to remove PogChamp.
And you know, I did say that there's probably no way White Walkers are going to be able to get a superior time bank. I actually don't know about that. With the pirate ship, they actually might be able to really get this payload moving. It's already through the tunnel here. Gravity's down. PogChamp just free reign. That double shield is going to be brutal. Coucha already swapped the Junkrat to increase that shield damage. Silent Tamer from above. And yeah, this is kind of an interesting scenario because, you know, you want both shield break for the double shield and the bastion, but you also want that hit scan to take out the bar.
Indeed, this actually reminisces, you know, very much back to like the Season 2 Overwatch League Grand Finals competitions with the Far Bastion. And this is kind of, Bastion comps are kind of a team's ability to adapt on the fly. Do you have an answer for Bastion? It's cheesy. I like cheese. But there are definitely ways you can beat the Bastion if you make the swaps fast enough, if you know what you're doing, and if you have a plan. It forces the cooperation, and like, your game has to be on. Super fast. And right now, it doesn't look like Stardust Crusaders have that.
I do like the swap onto Junkrat from Wakaucha, but already gets taken down and the res is cancelled. Strap not able to get this one. And again, the payload is just not stopping. Gravity from the high ground. Oh, immediately takes out Silent Tamer, who tried to use the barrage to immediately take out Gravity. And now here's their chance. PogChamp in a little bit of trouble. AK Reflex is going to have to expend the Immortality Field. Here comes a tank configuration out from PogChamp. Will it be able to get anything? No, the only thing it's able to get is Firestorm Rebel's Immortality Field. And there we go. Stardust Crusaders are going to be able to stabilize her now, and that will almost guarantee them a superior time bank.
And now it gets scary, because look at the ultimate banks for both sides. They're full. So this next fight could be, you know, an economy breaker for potentially the rest of the map for either team, or it could just be, you know, go even against each other. I would be very concerned for any team that doesn't have their win conditions. And Strap going down very early.
That's huge. Firestorm Rebel did pop. Actually, both of these bats are popping up Amplification Matrix, and here comes Zanny Boy actually getting accreted, I believe, out of the Gravitic Flux, so it didn't get the slam down. Couch are going to try and turn this around with the tire. Not going to be able to do so. And that was actually a very good fight from Stardust Crusaders. They just need to take out Wakaucha here, and they should have point B on lockdown. Actually, they might not even need to. Wakaucha gonna try and get away. Actually, he's gonna have a tough time getting out, and Silent Tamer takes him down.
That was a terrible fight from Stardust Crusaders. We see them use 4 ultimates and lose the fight to the team that used, I think, 3. Like, we went ult down and lost. That, you can't have too many of those fights. Good news, they already have a faster time.
Yes, and perhaps Bradley could get into a position. Oh, Charles trying to get the solo shatter onto Zanny Boy. You see Richard leaving the game, so we are going to have to pause. That was very interesting from Charles. That looked like a solo shatter attempt onto Zanny, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Charles went for the shatter him as he rolls away.
Perhaps.
It just didn't quite make the connection. This is going to be a big deal. I don't know if Charles had ultimate. I don't think he did, because he used it in the last fight. But between PogChamp being down and Richard being out of this fight, this is probably already lost, assuming... Well, I mean, heck, you're at... Let's... we can't look. Your Gravity might even be about to kill...
Done.
Yeah. I don't know who else he would have. I don't think he can see Reflex. Maybe shield pressure on Charles.
And actually, Silent Tamer looks like they're in front of the shield as well. They might be the next one to fall here.
But yeah, so we're looking at like a fight probably done right here. And ultimate economy relatively even between the two. Maybe even a little in favor of White Walkers. We'll see.
Is he back? Okay, he's back.
Yes. Just give him a couple seconds to make sure he's in the game, and we'll get this back going. But yeah, already a 20-second difference in the time banks. I mean, that's what getting a blazing speed like 4 minutes and 25 seconds will do. But you know, even getting like 3 minutes in the time bank or 2.5 actually does still make this map very winnable. You see how kind of snowball-y first point can be, but also it is very possible to defend on point A, especially at that last stretch around the fountain. So it's not completely out of the question, you know.
No, absolutely. This unless they, you know, full hold here. Or, well,
okay, they're good.
Hold,
ready and starting.
Hold. We are ready. We go. See the rest of your these. Oh,
wow! It did take out Reflex as well. Interesting. Well, I thought he was protected by the shield. But no matter what, that would have been a fight reset anyway. So
indeed. So we have the barrage could be huge on the side of Silent Tamer. So you are playing into like triple hit scan, which makes it a little scary if you're playing Pharah, but you can definitely win a fight, if not the map, with this barrage. If you sneak it in there.
Yeah, probably gonna need to swap to the Junkrat after this with the barrage. Interesting. Gonna try and go to the high ground, maybe to try and take pressure towards Wakaucha, who actually is going to leave the high ground themselves. This Crusaders, they're playing all the way back to the end of the map. No one is escorting the payload though. And PogChamp gets the opening pick on the Firestorm Rebel. That is huge, and Silent Tamer takes out Wakaucha as well. That might put him in perfect position to get a barrage off. Here comes the Bob coming out from PogChamp, and there's the barrage from Silent Tamer. Only takes out one, but getting the Mercy is certainly huge. White Walkers, you have to be careful. Gravity actually still in the back. They didn't notice him, and he's going to the high ground with High Noon. This could be the fight turner, and Stardust Crusaders might be able to stabilize with it. AK Reflex goes down. The payload's still moving. Here comes... Oh, Gravity goes down. Respawns are coming back. Ziptail able to get the res onto AK Reflex. He couches down once again. There's the res onto Gravity. Gravity still on the high ground trying to battle PogChamp here. Fight is still incredibly up for grabs. AK Reflex popping the amplification matrix, but goes down. Both of the maps are down, in fact. And here it comes. The High Noon able to take out Silent Tamer. And Ziptail is down too. I think Stardust Crusaders is going to be able to stabilize. And, you know, we talked about, you know, if White Walkers had 2 minutes left in the time bank, well, now we're talking about maybe having a minute, and now that is going to be incredibly difficult for them to win the map, but still have a chance here to at least complete the map and give themselves that opportunity.
Indeed. Gravity swapping over to the Mei. Really gonna burn the time. Also, he's you know, Zany likes to call Gravity a McCree one-trick. He's really more of a Mei one-trick. Don't tell him I said that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's all I remember him playing on DPS whenever he played it for Code.
It's his favorite character, and he's good at it, but it also just makes so much sense here. The compositions they're trying to run can be, you know, disabled so effectively with the wall, and the time buy is just huge.
Yeah, honestly, it's very possible Stardust Crusaders very content with just maybe trying to play the time game and just give themselves that huge time bank advantage. So, here we go, early Immortality Field out from Firestorm Rebel, and there's the Shatter coming out from Charles, doesn't actually really get anything, and Zandyboy going aggressive with the mines. Most of them are getting taken out by Charles' shield, but that means his shield down, and there's an easy res from taking Strap. Wakaucha able to take out Richard. Here comes PogChamp, rolling in the bob to try and turn this around, but Wakaucha gonna use the Tac Visor, takes out Reflex, only 30 seconds left. Charles able to get the Fire Strike on the Take the Strap. The fight is still incredibly close. They need to take out Zandyboy, who is incredibly low. Does get taken out. Firestorm Rebel in a compromising position. Anyone else gonna be able to touch? Yes, it's Gravity. Gonna try and take as much time out as they can. Here comes Silent Tamer throwing in the tire, able to take out Wakaucha, take the Strap. Coming back with the Valkyrie. Will they be able to get a pivotal res? Not going to be able to. Great move from Reflex. Here comes Zandyboy once again going to stall. It looks like we're almost certainly going to get into the double zeros here. So a massive time bank advantage for sure for Stardust Crusaders, but overall it does look like White Walkers will at least get the opportunity to attack. They have to take out the Stragglers. Actually a nice shatter from Magdragon, and here's the Blizzard. Charles able to take out Magdragon. This is close. Here comes the Sound Barrier from AK Reflex, as well as the shatter from Charles. It's incredibly close. Here comes Wakaucha coming back on the Reaper. We're gonna see if he can sustain long enough in this fight to continue to get people back. Silent Tamer able to take the Strap before any sort of reses, and the Bob should close this out. Ooh. But wow, incredibly close. I thought maybe the Shatter and the Blizzard was gonna be enough, but White Walkers, they have a chance, but a 4-minute and 25-second difference in the time bank. They're gonna need to go a long way with this push.
They will, do you think they have... Do they run the Bastion back? Which did kind of roll, but I feel like if you run the Bastion and Stardust doesn't let you know that they're countering it, like, isn't at the spawn door, although just holding at the spawn door is kind of a thing versus Bastion. But if they... So they are gonna run the Bastion again. The concern I would have is if they if Stardust Crusaders hang back on this high ground, and then, you know, last second just pound the Bastion, you could make it like a one fight kind of a thing, with no opportunity for swaps or anything.
And look at this, Stardust Crusaders, they're even getting the comp to possibly counter this. They've already got the Junkrat this time around, and Wakaucha on that hit scan to deal with the Pharah. Actually, they aren't maybe going to go with the Bastion, maybe thinking that Stardust Crusaders will try to counter them. In fact, Going with the Sombra, this could be interesting, as getting an EMP could certainly make this snowballable, and actually a really nice opening hook from Charles onto Zandyboy, who actually is able to get out and is safe, but oh my god, they are just harassing Zandyboy to no end, a hack as well. Another great hook from Richard, and Magdragon is down, so a great start here on the side of White Walkers, but they are going to need to make it much further if they really want a realistic chance at winning this map. Payload continuing to move, and Stardust Crusaders are going to smartly try and back up and take the fight at the fountain. I'd say if they win the fight at the fountain, they almost certainly will win the map, but Wakaucha might be in a compromising position. PogChamp actually doing really well here on the Sombra, getting some really great hacks. Magdragon in trouble, gets hooked by Richard and taken out. Urapi trying to throw in the bombs. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Zandyboy, nice pick on the Silent Tamer though. This is actually still relatively close, and the spawns will slightly favor Stardust Crusaders. Here comes the tire, takes out Charles. The EMP from PogChamp might not have enough follow-up because of that. Payload still moving around the fountain.
Zany has his ultimate here, and if Gleam doesn't hack it, like this could get... Oh, Richard pushes off first though.
Gravity does go down, the fight is still up for grabs. Who's gonna win? There's the amplification matrix, but a nice shatter from Charles. White Walkers, they just don't want to lose this. They're trying their best. Magdragon has the shatter. Do they want to use it as well? Yes, they're gonna try and take out Charles with it, and Charles is down to the pin. It's only Ziptail and PogChamp on the point. Will they be able to survive long enough for reinforcements to come? No, they will not. And yes, it is just the fountain that the payload will reach. I don't know, White Walkers, 5 minutes and 25 seconds to defend just before the fountain. This is looking incredibly grim.
Oh.
Ready for battle.
Is
So we
it
see the...
desperation? Oh.
So we see them leading off with the same body check dive comp. That's what I'm calling it, the body check dive.
Body check. might have to get a patent on that before the Overwatch League.
Somehow I don't think it's gonna be a thing, but the body check.
I know. But what I was gonna say is it maybe desperation o'clock here for the White Walkers going with the full-on bunker. Actually, this is actually kind of the old bunker with the Roadhog before Signal was a thing. So let's see.
The fact that Reflex isn't on BAP, I find incredibly scary. Zany is just gonna come through and yeah, that's gonna happen.
And yeah, we're already gonna see White Walkers. They're conceding this first corner, but there's actually a nice hook onto Zandyboy, so they will get that pick, and it's pretty much in an unreasonable spot. Gravity on that Genji might be a good pick into the Bastion. Kalcha trying to find the pot shots. Gonna have some trouble trying to snipe around that Orisa shield, but at least it isn't double shield. Still get value in Wakaucha. Able to take out PogChamp. That will get res by Ziptail, and Wakaucha does get taken down. Take the strap, uses the res on that. Magdragon though already out of mech here. PogChamp continuing to reposition himself away from the fight. Urabi able to take out Charles. No res available this time, but also for Wakaucha. And here comes PogChamp, gonna use the configuration tank to try and win this fight. But Urabi deflects a shot onto Silent Tamer. That might be huge, and now Magdragon gonna try and go aggressive with it, and here comes Urabi using the blade, but gets taken out by PogChamp. Team fight still incredibly up for grabs. Payload approaching to golden box of victory for Stardust Crusaders, and there's the amplification matrix from Firestorm Rebel. Wakaucha able to take out Richard. And Zanny Boy here trying to find the picks with Coucha. Absolutely coming up clutch right now. Ziptail able to get the res onto PogChamp, but taking Strap able to get the res onto Firestorm Rebel. Turret's still up here on the top of Cloud, pumping in a lot of damage. Here comes a Moncool from Silent Tamer. Will that be able to turn things around? Actually, some of it was deflected by Uravi, so they're going to need to be careful. Nice sleep onto Wakaucha from Reflex, who does go down to Uravity, but I think we are gonna see another fight win from White Walkers, so still a long way to go, but a really good start on their side.
Absolutely. The problem that they're going to have is they cannot engage until Zany is like in the backline. Or Wakaucha perhaps now, actually. So the play might be bombing the Bastion, is actually what I was going to suggest.
Danny Boy does go aggressive with the mines, but not able to find anything, but it did force out the Immortality Field, and that leaves a huge 2k for Mag Dragon. That might just be it, only 5 meters to go for that gold marks of victory for Stardust Crusaders, and the picks are certainly going in their favor, and the time bank disadvantage was just too much for White Walkers to overcome, and that will be Stardust Crusaders getting their first win as a franchise over the defending champions. And White Walkers already matching their loss total from last season, and it's just week 1.
Of course, it's the suspenseful, it's the pause.
That's funny, I like how it doesn't show the pause. But wow, like what a game. That was easily the best game of the week, for sure. Zenshin Tactics versus Prodigy was pretty good as well, but man, that felt like two teams that could be dueling in the championship. Right.
Yeah, this is like, oh, son. It's funny, the stream is super far behind. They just now finished, so the stream is just now knows, but it's so
For me,
good.
it's only about 10 seconds behind.
Really?
But
It's
now the tough part is MVPs, and I actually think I pretty obvious ones. I think DPS obviously has to go to Wakocha, who was just playing out of their mind today on Widow, on Junkrat, playing pretty much everything across the board. That was an exceptional performance from Wakaucha.
I don't disagree. I'm asking the captains for their captains' noms now.
That's true. They do need to give them, yes. But I would also say that Ziptail for support is also a very obvious choice. Ziptail, especially early
Ziptail
on in the series, is
Lucio
really doing good. Yeah.
was spicy. Really solid. Like, and then the tank line, I felt like everybody who played tank pretty much had their moment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you guys have any thoughts on either team?
It really did feel like it kind of felt like the opposite of the KO I need healing game, where other than maybe Zombie Dylan, it didn't feel like there was truly a standout player. Like, it was more the team-based stuff that was good, but man, it just felt like so many of the players in this match were just popping off, like, playing incredibly well. So, we'll see.
I'm looking in the chat, and my favorite thing is Ant Hopkins, who is technically a player for Stardust Crusaders, but is effectively retired. After the chat was all very White Walkers-y, surprisingly quiet now.
Interesting.
Yeah,
White Walkers not used to this. Not used to losing again. Like I said, they only had one loss last season. So it's almost certain at this point, unless they run the tables like Corgi Core did in Season 3, that they're gonna have more losses than they did last season, and perhaps that is due to the fact that they're missing all these pieces now, including Bleem's tank, Musketeer and Red Hood Kitty's support, and several others even.
Okay, so the captains are proposing they're just nominating Wakocha and Zany. No shock on Wakocha, and then Pog and Reflex for White Walkers.
Pog and Reflex. Well, yeah. I guess if they're thinking that Reflex I thought played really well as well. Both the supports on both of these teams were playing pretty well. I think it was a little bit easier to see on the White Walkers side because they were playing more, BAP and Lucio, whereas we saw mostly, Moira, Mercy, Lucio on the side of Stardust Crusaders. Granted, Firestorm Rebel was actually playing pretty decently there on the Baptiste. I do think the main difference was tank play tonight, and I would be willing to give Zanny Boy the tank MVP. He did play incredibly well, especially there on the Wrecking Ball, going super aggressive, and even on Blizzard World, like made a couple mistakes here and there, but just plays that aggressive style that it's hard without a good Zarya yourself, or without a Zarya to match. It's just hard to equalize.
No, I get behind that. I think Zany, Wakocha, and Ziptail is a very strong MVP lineup.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's again it's really a toss up for me between Reflex, Zip, and even Take the Strap, and Eldritch had some good moments too. So, but I'm definitely leaning a little bit more towards Ziptail. So
no, I like it. So, I guess with that, we will conclude tonight's stream. Thank you all for watching. This has been myself, Crypto, my guy, Mr. Game and Kirby, on the call, and then our wonderful observer, Wukong.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. And
Thank you everybody for watching another great game. Gonna be done with Tier 3 for a week, so be sure to tune in for Tier 2 games. That last season was incredibly exciting. Playoffs were exciting, and I am expecting Tier 2 to be a bloodbath this year. So make sure to not miss a single game there. Make sure to tune in.
hey, thank you guys.